All right, it's time for a little fantasy football. We have our guy D Nasty back, Dave. Here we are, man. After week 2 of preseason, we got Washington right now playing Cincinnati, and that's just a score fest with bad defenses and very good offenses right now. Little news on the running back situation with Washington, I noticed.
Yes, Brian Robinson Jr. Actually, I was kind of a little shocked. He had a pretty solid year last year and the year before. They got him on the block right now. They're shopping him, so it's kind of interesting news. That I think they like kind of some of their young running backs they like, and I don't think Eckler's going to get that many more carries, but he could get a bigger role though too. So that's huge for fantasy purposes, actually.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, and I cannot believe that young kid is getting so much look right now. And now I'm like confused. Are they cutting Robinson? I don't think they're going to get much to trade value with him.
No, they didn't say they're going to cut him. They said they're shopping him and seeing if there's any trade partners out there, anyone that would want him. There's actually some running back needy teams, so he could. And then there's some people that are looking for backups too. They're mentioning San Francisco as a good place that he might go as a backup. So we'll see though. There's some other teams they were mentioning too as well, but that was one of the rumors I heard.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Crossett Merritt is trending big time on a sleeper app right now. So yeah, he's so hot right now, as Zoolander used to say. But it's interesting because it's like I thought the same as you. I thought he was just such a key dude, and like he might not even freaking play much this year. It absolutely blows my mind. San Fran and Miami can always use more depth pieces because they run their running backs into the ground. So I understand that. Even
Especially
if he's
Miami
got
actually after Madison got injured, so that'd be another spot too that'd be a good place for him actually.
well, and if they don't trade him because nobody wants to give up much for him because running backs are a dime a dozen these days, especially if you didn't perform up to the team's expectations, he might get cut and he might just sit there until somebody picks him up. I think somebody will pick him up, so he's worth like a NA slot or something, in your
Yeah, definitely.
on your team. So I would think that a lot of times if you lose your starting position, you request to get cut. You're like, just let me go. I'll find somewhere else. A lot of players do that. But
Well,
yeah,
the Trey
very interesting.
Henderson trade saga still continues as well for Cincinnati. That's even starting to heat up even more now too. So there's a couple of trade scenarios out there that are heating up. So there's a couple interesting things that might happen before the regular season starts here.
I think some crazy Packer fans made up the Parsons drama too. I'm not buying that
I
crap
like
at
that though.
all.
Yeah, I'd trade 2 seconds and a first for him any day.
I don't think that. I don't think that Jerry is going to trade him. Um, but yeah, I would too. I mean, the Packers are ready to win, so why would except minus their quarterback. well, we'll see how good old Love heals up from that awful Bears game
Oh,
from
he was
last
practicing
season.
today already. He's back at training camp today practicing.
Oh,
He's
I
fine.
gotcha. Well, the Bears put on a whooping on the Bills, and it was interesting because Caleb looked pretty good, but I was really impressed by Tyson Badgett. And I don't think that like he's going to take Caleb because there's just too much pressure on Ryan Poles to make a big move like that. But I will say that Caleb might have a little bit shorter leash because of how good Badgett's doing. So if you're in a deeper league, I'd say maybe handcuff Caleb with Badgett. I'm not saying it's for sure thing, but Caleb
I don't
does
see
have
that
some head
happening. I think
issues.
he'll look pretty good. I think he'll have a pretty long leash actually this year. That's their franchise core, but they're not gonna bench him.
Well, I don't disagree with that, and I think he's probably got more arm talent too. But I mean, you look at Badgett and what he does, and he's just been pinpoint man in a lot of
He
cases,
could
and he's
ball, yeah.
smart. Look, he's a baller. He is really a baller. Maybe the Bears should trade him. I don't know if somebody needs a quarterback, but he's pretty legit. I say keep them both because I mean you need a backup these days that can actually play. Most teams don't have that. But moving on, Dave, fantasy football, man, that's your thing. It's always been your thing. How many leagues are you be in this year?
I think about 12 to 13 leagues I'm in this year.
Okay, that's a lot. Lots of advantage. Um, when they say guillotine leagues, how many of those? Well, explain that. Explain what that is, and then talk about that.
Well, the guillotine leagues, I don't do many of those. I'm more in the dynasty leagues because I like to keep my team and like I have those out there. The guillotine leagues are interesting and fun though. So whoever finishes at the bottom each week gets eliminated actually, and then those players go into the pool. and then people can pick those players up. Usually it's free agent bidding on those players. So there's actually a lot of strategy that go into the Guillotine leagues, and there's actually some higher dollar amount leagues actually too. There's a $1,000 one that I was looking at getting into this year possibly. But that one actually, so what happens is then when those players go to the pool, you have to make sure you don't spend up your free agent budget. So later in the year, you can get those great players that are dropped by some of the better teams. So there's a lot of strategy that's involved in it, like when to spend your money, when not to spend your money, what free agents to go after and when to go after them, which teams you're kind of targeting for the players on their team. So there's a lot of strategy that actually goes into it, and it's actually really fun. So I definitely recommend it, but it's definitely going to be a little bit harder too. And it's definitely not fun if you get bounced the first couple of weeks too. So
yeah,
you got to make sure you get a little lucky and you draft a good team as well.
Do you get like a couple losses and that's it? I don't know. I don't know how they're run personally, but I just hear that the only reason I brought it up, Dave, is because I assumed you might be in one because you're in like a dozen. And I also
once you lose, you're done. You only get one loss. So once your team loses, you finish at the bottom once, you're out.
Yeah, and I also thought that with the Guillotine League, it's a little bit like Survivor in a way too. So I like the strategy. I'm not saying that I'm jumping into it, but it's very interesting. But what we should jump into is how many bad injuries there are out there. You know what's nice? It's been week 2. It's not as bad as last year. I don't think there's still there's most of the guys are good. But why don't you go over some of the fantasy football injuries that happen?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some notable injuries, but there's no really key like season-ending injuries that are really going to knock any players out, or you're going to have to cross off your list. The first one, though, actually, Shadir Sanders. Actually, you might be surprised in mentioning him, but he's out with the bleak. He did have a really good first week, week 1 actually. That game will probably keep him on the roster, and they're talking about possibly cutting Kenny Pickett, who's actually injured as well with a hamstring. So 2 notable injuries on them. And Gabriel is actually back now for them. So that's actually an injury that was lurking before too. But they actually did just name Joe Flacco officially now. They're starting quarterback for week 1. So, but I don't see that lasting very long. So Gabriel or Sanders could be starting by mid-season. So I don't think Flacco holds up the whole year. Another injury, this is actually a very key one. This is one that I'm monitoring very closely, and I'm actually grabbing Jimmy Garoppolo in a couple of my leagues actually due to this injury. Stanford has not played the whole preseason, which is not unusual, but he's got a bulging disc in his back, which is not a very good injury to have, and it did flare up last year on him. He did miss a couple of weeks last year too. So Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy you want to be targeting at the end of your drafts, or possibly in the free agent market if no one drafted him, because Stanford could actually miss some time this year if that does flare up. And they said he possibly could be back by week 1, but that's no guarantee actually. So that's that injury you definitely want to keep an eye on. Another guy too, Anthony Richardson. He's actually got the pinky, but he's actually back in practicing. They said he's going to play against the Packers this week. So I'm interested to see how he does this week with the pinky finger that he injured. It's a freak accident, but he's already battling with Daniel Jones for the starting spot. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Another one, this Tyreek Hill. I don't know what to make of him with all the off-field issues, and then now he's got an oblique injury. He said he could practice this week, but they're holding him out as precautionary reasons. He'll be ready for week 1, they say, but just keep an eye on that one. Definitely want to keep an eye on that one. Another one is going to be Chris Godwin. He's had some bad injury luck over the last couple of years. He's still on the PUP list. He's physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. He's ankle injury back in October. So he's still suffering from that actually, which is kind of shocking. So definitely keep an eye on that one. They drafted a young wide receiver from Ohio State. And plus they had McMillan, who actually came on at the end of the last year too. So that's a situation we definitely want to monitor going forward. And then actually, unfortunately, 2 key Packers are actually injured right now. Lingering calf injury for Xavier McKinney, who's one of the key defensive guys. And then another guy, Jaden Reed, actually. He's been out of practice and wearing a walking boot with a sprained foot. So they don't know if he's going to be back for week 1 either. I just read a report today saying he could be out for week 1. So that's going to elevate a couple of the other wide receivers on the Green Bay depth chart. So keep an eye on that. And then defensively, actually, that guy, CJ Gardner-Johnson for the Texans, he's coming off of an ACL injury. So keep an eye on that if you're in an IDP league. Taj Spears, high ankle sprain. So he's questionable too for week 1. It required him to be carted off the field. So that sounds pretty serious, actually, in my book. So, and the high ankle ones are definitely ones that can linger too. So Tony Pollard has actually been shooting up draft boards actually due to that. For a few leagues that have Pollard, and people have actually been offering me quite a bit for actually Pollard now because he's moving up draft boards because of that injury. Another one, Juwan Jennings, who I really like. I have on some of my dynasty leagues. Nagging off-season calf injury for him. So he's going to be a starter in a lot of leagues. So definitely keep an eye on that one as well. Those are just some of the key ones I had. Did you have anything else, Kiev, that you wanted to add?
Hunter, it sucks. I mean, defensive guys, a lot of defensive guys are injured. Hunter Waller, the old Badger, just got drafted and then he's out for the season with a Liz Frank fracture. I know he's an IDP guy, right? But it still sucks to see, a Badger like that get injured. And he was playing really well for the Colts. He was going to make the team and all. And, now he's out for the season, which really sucks. And that's what happens. Did you mention Devin Achin from Miami?
I did not know. I didn't mention him.
Yeah, he's still got a calf issue, and he's not going to practice this week. So I mean, just like any Miami running back, you go to Wright, go to the other guys. I don't know who they're picking up for third and fourth. I don't know who's making the team, but him and Wright are definitely two guys you want if you want to handcuff Devin Achin. And it's been worrisome with him lately. So that's really all I have, though, because you hit all really the good ones.
And then Love too, like you mentioned, he has the non-throwing hand injury. He got surgery on it. They did say he was back at training camp and practicing today. I think he's just wearing like a splint or some kind of cast on it, so he should be fine. It's on his non-throwing arm, but he injured in the first week of the preseason, but he hit someone's helmet with one of his fingers, so that was messed up a little bit. So, but I don't think that's a major injury as well. He's already back at training camp and practicing. They said today, so.
All right, good stuff. Well, let's move on to our running back rankings. I don't know why I have running back share and wide receiver share. I meant to put rankings, but still, I guess we can discuss where we have them. And I moved some stuff around last weekend. Obviously with the news coming in, I still have to move Robinson myself, but we'll get into that. We'll just start by going for your first top five, Dave, and then I'll give you my five. How do you rank the top five?
All right. Well, this is going to be surprising. It's going to be probably different than yours, but I have Saquon Barkley as number one. Coming off the great year last year, he's on a great running team. He's got Jalen Hurts, who takes some of the defense off of him. So I like him to have another big year again. I like Saquon at number one. Number two, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. Number three, I got Bijan Robinson. I like him as a nice young running back there. And then number four, I got Christian McCaffrey. You can't discount him. If he stays healthy, he's definitely could be in that top three or even a top back. And then number five, I got actually Derrick Henry. Big year, like I said, big year again for the Baltimore Ravens. He's on a good team. Lamar Jackson, I think those running quarterbacks really help the running backs as well. So I got Henry and Barkley both pretty highly ranked because of that. Even though Henry doesn't catch many passes, Barkley does. That's why I have him at number one. Bijan's going to get you even more catches than any of them probably, but that's the reason I got Barkley at one.
Well, Dave, I have Barkley at one too. So and Gibbs at two. So we are completely lined up on there. I agree with you 100%. He was a big part of that Eagles team, and just with the deep threats that they have with Smith and AJ Brown, it just opens up way more for Barkley. And I trust him, and he's been healthy the last year and a half, 2 years at least, and he's kind of shown they can stay healthy to me. So that's my only concern is health. So I am different with most of the other ones, just like you are, putting Bijan first. I disagree with Bijan first. I think Bijan third is fine, but I'm still worried about Raheem Morris, right? I don't think Raheem's that good of a coach. So
no, and the Falcons themselves, the young quarterback too, with Phoenix at quarterback, he could struggle games, and then they're going to key off on the run. So Falcons team as a whole just still worries me a little bit. Otherwise, I would have Bijan at one. If they come out hot and they come on fire and they come out with gun on all cylinders, but I don't see that happening. So I think they're going to start slow, if anything.
Did you call him Penix? Michael Penix. No, there's a different way that they spelled Michael Penix. It's making the news. They accidentally traded the X for an S at the end of that. So that's pretty funny. You love it when the media makes mistakes. I got to tell you, it's CMC is my fourth one, Dave. And I I don't know, man. I mean, you remember how damn good when he's healthy, he's just a workhorse.
He's a
He does it
beast.
all.
Yeah.
And it's not like when he was in first that year or the year before last, whatever. Of course, I pick him last year, right? And I always pick these guys when they screw up, but um he was like a big distant between number two. And that's why I still have to have him at 4. I'm not super. I mean, if all of a sudden like I'm drafting third and drafting fifth and Christian McCaffrey falls in my lap and like Derrick Henry, you know. So I have CMC then Derrick Henry. I'll hold my nose and grab CMC just because I have to trust Shanahan somewhat. But geez, stay healthy, kid. I will do 6 through 15 real quick. Derrick Henry is my 5th. 6th is Bucky Irving. He's a little bit underranked in my opinion. Like Fantasy Pros has him at 10th. I have him at 6th. So I think just Bucky's going to be a stud for Tampa Bay and just continue to be a stud. And he's, really earned the number 1 position. Chase Brown is number 7 just because of sheer volume. They're going to have to be scoring a ton of points to keep up with these teams. That defense is so bad over there in Cincinnati. So Chase Brown is going to benefit from that and those 2 receivers being deep from underneath. I have Devin Achin as number 8 for many reasons, as you know. I have Kyron Williams at number 9. Dude, he had like the most, I think it was touches last year, I believe.
He did. He was number 1 in touches last year. Rams love to run the football, just like the Miami Dolphins do too, but he get burned out though too, so I'm just waiting for that, but he didn't. He was actually very durable last year, so definitely good anything on that pick.
Yep, and we discussed a little bit of that last week with running back share. Jonathan Taylor, number 10. He's just too good to not be higher up there. James Cook is number 11. Got his contract straight, so we're happy about that. Jobs is number 12. Brees Hall is number 13. Ashton Genty, Dave, is where I dropped him all the way down to 14. I don't believe in the Raiders. I don't believe he's going to do well in that division. Sorry. I mean, I like Ashton Genty, but he's a rookie, guys. Yeah, he's still my first rookie. But geez, having him go in the top 3, that is like, forget that.
Yeah,
that's a massive gamble.
Like you were saying, Bucky Irving is probably the most underrated guy. And I think Ashton Genty is probably the most overrated running back right now. Definitely on draft boards for sure.
And then my 15th is Kenneth Walker from Seattle. So why don't you give me your 6 through 10 and then you
sounds good. Number 6, I got Devon Achane from the Miami Dolphins, like we said. So I like him. I got Jonathan Taylor at 7, actually. I like him. I think he could have a bounce back year here if he stays healthy, and especially if Richardson starts. That running quarterback, like I said, it's only a secret for success, actually, for the Eagles and Ravens. So I like that. At 8, I got Josh Jacobs. He had a monster year last year for the Packers. I think they're going to keep running to him, too, especially if Love is banged up at the beginning of the year like he is. I like Jacobs at 8. 9, at Bucky Irving. I'm a big fan of Bucky Irving. I have him in a few of my dynasty leagues. He helped me win a couple of my leagues last year. One of my favorite running backs this year. Definitely don't sleep on him. Like Kiev was saying, he's definitely underrated. 10, I got Chase Brown. I like him as well. Just sheer volume wise, no one really behind him is going to steal any carries. Some RG Perrine, like we said last week, but I don't see him stealing carries from Chase Brown. Kyron Williams, like you said, 11, just due to sheer volume. He's had 2 great years too with the Rams. He's definitely the lead back there. James Cook, another young guy I like a lot. I have him in quite a few of my leagues as well at 12. 13, I got Kenneth Walker. I like him, actually. If he stays healthy, they said he's banged up a little bit again, so he's a little injury prone as well, so keep an eye on that. 14, I got a little surprise here. Omarion Hampton. I think he actually could have a very good year with the Chargers. He is a rookie, I know, like we said, so I moved him up a little bit off my draft boards, a little higher than probably most people have him. And then I got Brees Hall at 15, actually.
Okay, why don't you go 16 through 25?
All right, 16, I actually have Ashton Genty. I actually moved him down to there, so that's where I got him. And then at 17, I got Alvin Kamara. I like him. He's still going to be the lead back for the Saints. Number 18, I got Chuba Hubbard for the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be the lead back for them.
And it's just, by the way, it's really cool that you are on my side with Genty. I mean, we had to move him down a lot, so that's pretty impressive that we both were thinking the same thing. I love it.
Yeah, I definitely, and he struggled a little bit in the preseason too, even though it's just preseason. But like you said, the Raiders, their line is a little bit of a mess. They didn't really, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it anymore. But yeah, and then James Conner, I like him at 19. He's got a lot of the volume last couple of years. He stayed actually healthy, pretty healthy for the most part last year. Had a great year. And then another rookie I have at 20, I have Trevon Henderson. Actually, he's like you talked me into moving him up a little bit. He's actually looked pretty explosive. So. I like that, and I moved him up due to that.
Okay, good, good. Well, you got five more.
Oh, I went through 20, like you said.
Oh, okay. I said 25 actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
but
go ahead.
but I'll just blow through some of mine. 16 Alvin Kamara. So I left off at Kenneth Walker. 17 James Conner. So we both agree pretty high on that. I actually have Aaron Jones up there at 18. I know he's losing some carries to Mason, maybe. I don't know. And then he mentioned like something today that he's gonna let Mason get some of the short yardage touchdowns. I don't know. I just feel like their offense is going to be running back heavy this year with McCarthy. They're not going to make him do too much. I might move him a couple spots down, but I do have Javonte Williams at number 19, Dave, because I believe that Javonte Williams is being way underdrafted and he's going to be the Dallas
Really?
guy. I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I do. I mean, who else does Dallas have, man?
They don't, but Javonte Williams has never
Jaden
made it
Blue.
through a full season.
Yeah, he's been banged up, but he was pretty good for me last year or the year before? I don't know, maybe it was the year before.
He started
Yeah,
his work halfway through the year for the Broncos. He started out strong last year for the Broncos, and then he kind of tailed off,
yeah,
and they
yeah. I
started
mean,
losing carries.
I think he started getting hurt a little bit. I don't know. I still think he's pretty high in the Cowboys, but we'll see. I have Amari and Hampton right after that. Chuba Hubbard, number 21. Travion Henderson, 22, for all those reasons. DeAndre Swift for the Bears at 23. And the Bears looked really crazy on offense. I'm still hard to get out that out of my mind. I know it's against scrubs, but still, it's just fun to watch Ben Johnson's offense. 24 is Tony Pollard. 25, David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions. I'll go to 30. RJ Harvey is number 26, semi-sleeper, I guess. But, he's someone on Denver that they're probably looking to start at some point. Isaiah Pacheco, I have at numbers 27. So I still believe in Pacheco a little bit more than Hunt, but not a lot more. Joe Mixon is number 28. So I like Joe Mixon a bit. Go ahead.
Actually, keep an eye on him too. He's one guy that I forgot to mention with the injuries. I think he's still on the pup list actually as well. So he hasn't practiced this whole preseason either. So keep an eye on that one as well.
And that's why I kind of have him dropped a bit. Number 29, I have Tyrone Tracy, and number 30, I have Caleb Johnson from Pittsburgh. I think he's going to take over for Warren. And I have, just to let you know, I do have Kareem Hunt at 31, which I think is a little bit of a sleeper because a lot of people have him in the 60s. I don't believe that. I think he's going to have a lot more running back share than that.
All right, great. I'll do my 20 through 30 now, actually, or 21 through 30. Montgomery I had at 21. The Lions love to run the ball, so I like him there. DeAndre Swift, they have at 22. They actually could have a pretty good offense, I think. The new coach, I like the new coach, how he's running that offense. So RJ Harvey, have him at 23. Actually, had me a little higher than you did. Tony Pollard, 24, like we discussed before, just because the Spears injured, he's definitely going to get more carries. Isaiah Pacheco, I do like him as well. He could even be a little bit higher up the board. I think if he stays healthy, he could be the number one guy there, and they have a good offense as well. Aaron Jones, he had a solid year last year, I like him. Jordan Mason is creeping up on him, though they keep saying that they're going to share more carries with him, so we'll see about that. Caleb Johnson, I got him at 27. I like as you said as well. 28, I got Tyrone Tracy. He's definitely going to be the starter there now. Singletary is going to be definitely just the clear-cut number 2 there now. I got Joe Mixon at 28. And then Travis Etienne I got at 29. And then I have J.K. Dobbins at 30. So I know that I had R.J. Harvey earlier, but I think Dobbins and him are both going to get quite a few carries in that Denver backfield.
Very true. I mean, I didn't know what to do with Travis Etienne. I have him at 33. And then Tank Bigsby at 41. So,
I think Etienne could be a sleeper, actually. If you go back to 2 years ago, he's one of the top. He was like a top 10 running back. I think injuries kind of like set
Etienne or
back.
Bigsby? Etienne, you mean?
Yeah, Etienne. 2 years ago, he was one of the better running backs fantasy,
Yeah,
actually.
but he's another guy that's got to stay healthy. Speaking of Javonte Williams,
Exactly.
he's another guy that's got to do that. And I don't know. They like Tank Bisbee a bit too. I'm just confused what to do with them. I mean, one of them could just ball out this year too. So I mean, very interesting. It's kind of like a RB3 situation, I think. But hopefully you're in a position where you don't need to sweat it too hard. Let's go into sleepers, Dave. Why don't you go? Let's go one each. Why don't you start?
Well, I got two actually. I really like two guys out here. I like
Okay.
Braylon Allen, the old Badger. I see him taking more of a role this year in the Jets offense. I love him actually this year. Preseason, he's been a beast in the preseason so far too. He's looked really strong in the preseason. I think the second year now in the NFL, I think he could bust out. He might steal quite a few carries away from Brees Hall. And another guy I really like is going to be Cam. I'm going to butcher the last name. Scabio. I like him a lot actually too. Once
Cam
he gets healthy, I
Scadaboo?
think Scatterboo,
Scadaboo,
yeah,
right?
sorry.
And you got to get more into
Scatterboo.
college football, Dave. Come on. Scadaboo is a beast.
He is. That's why I like him. I'm telling you. I just can't pronounce his name. Scatterboo. So I like Cam Scatterboo. So hey, he's my other sleeper. I think he could be the number one running back there before a midseason. Actually, he just needs to get healthy as well, like you were talking about with some of these other guys.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And I have Braylon Allen too as my next sleeper up. I already gave you a couple other ones, Javonte Williams and Kareem Hunt earlier. Um, I have, of course, Ja'Cory now, right? Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt from Washington. Yeah, now he's moved way up in the draft board, right? So you're going to have to move him up to probably around the Zach Charbonnet, Braylon Allen type situation. I assume Austin Eckler's got to move up too a bit. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
that's interesting. So where do I have Eckler now? This is probably being that this is so fresh. I mean, I thought I was going to see Robinson today. You know, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Yeah, I have Austin Eckler way too low in the 50s, like 50 exactly, actually. So he's gonna have to move
Another
up.
guy you don't want to sleep on either is Jaden Blue. Actually, if he can cut into Javonte Williams and he can get healthy actually before the regular season starts, he could be a guy to watch as well.
Absolutely, man. But Washington scored a lot of points last year. It's just thinking about that. The other one I have is Quinshon Junkins. Now that the law cleared him, now the NFL is investigating him too. So he's not like completely in the clear yet, but he will be. So I think Quinshon Junkins, now that you don't go to trial, it's like, screw you, NFL. It's like, if they're not charging me, leave me alone. It's like the NFL
Exactly.
loves to like flex their muscle and pretend like they're some
Well,
freaking.
it could lead to suspension though too, but I doubt that since he didn't get charged, I doubt they suspend him. But you never know
Well,
with
we've
NFL.
seen we've seen the NFL and Goodell do that shit before. They think they're
I
Sherlock
know.
Holmes or something, man. I don't know. It's so stupid how they just get their heads get too big. But no, I agree, Jane Blue. Yeah, I mean, because I say if you do draft Javante, you got to draft Jaden Blue. You want to have that handcuff in there, like in the 9th, 10th round. I think some of these handcuffs are going to come a little earlier these days too in fantasy football. Then you're not getting no good handcuff in the 13th, 14th round anymore. It's
No.
just,
Some
it's
of these
just,
Jaden Blue's actually been going quite a bit early, actually, in quite a few of my leagues. Actually, I've been kind of shocked.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I have. I don't have I guess Amari DiMarcado, I have him up to 64 from Arizona. I think he's kind of like a semi-sleeper, maybe someone you're not drafting, but someone
Well,
you
I
want to.
just read now that he's on the bubble now. He could actually get cut now, is what they're saying. It's between him and Michael Carter. So they're saying one of those guys are going to get cut that weekend. So if he
I bet
does
it's
make the
Michael
team, I like
Carter.
him, like you said. So
Yeah,
it's
they're even
between those
talking
two,
that
though.
there's some issues with the Bears too with Roshan Johnson. Some people are talking like he can get cut, and there's some other guys,
Wow.
because he's hurt, and it's just, I mean, there's a couple other guys that could make the team, and I got my eye on a few of them. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of interesting running back situations where someone's just going to come out of the freaking blue. You
Well,
know,
Dylan Sampson's another deep sleeper. Actually, he could come out of the blue, and they said he's been looking good in training camp too. If Junkins doesn't get in there, he could actually take over some carries and split with Jerome Ford.
Yeah, I got to tell you, as soon as you see the final cuts, you got to jump on this stuff. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
coming the Tuesday. I think it's the Tuesday after the last preseason game. So, be aware of that, especially if your league already drafted and you're in dynasty leagues and stuff like that. Just prepare to pounce on some of those situations. So, yeah, I agree. There's a
All
few
right.
running. I'm trying to find. It's not Travis Homer. It's not Monagai. Monaguy's kind of hurt for the Bears. He hurt himself, soft tissue injury. Ian Wheeler is the one I'm thinking about. Ian Wheeler, that's it. He might make the team. I mean, you're not going to necessarily draft him, but just keep your eye on him. So that's interesting. And God, I mean, if Roshan Johnson's out and they don't like Monagai, he could technically move up to number 2. So keep your eye on that situation. Let's go to receivers,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yes, definitely.
I'll give you my top 5. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry here. I only moved one guy really. Jamar Chase 1, Justin Jefferson 2, right? The 2 LSU guys, freaking 1 and 2, best receivers in the freaking NFL. Can you believe it? LSU, that was the best college football team I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was. And Burrow, they had Burrow too.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Burrow, the 2019 LSU Tigers, I think. I've never seen a team that good.
That's a ridiculous team, yeah.
Yeah. And then I moved up Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know why he was at 7 on some of these. The dude's an absolute beast. And, I just feel like he's going to even get more love this year. I know that they lost Ben Johnson, but seriously, I put him ahead of Malik Neighbors. They have Malik Neighbors next, and I kind of agree with that, with Russell Wilson at least quarterbacking. But, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he kind of craps out a little bit because of that. Puka Nacua next. Nico Collins is after that. So, yeah. I give you 6.
Well, I got Jamar Chase at 1. I like Jefferson at 2, like you said. I definitely agree. Those are the two best receivers out there. I got 3. I got Lamb. 4. I got Neighbors, actually. I think he could have a big year, actually. He looked solid last year, and he had some big games last year. 5, I got Nico Collins. 6, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. 7, I got Puka. 8, a guy I really like. This is one of my favorite receivers this year, Brian Thomas Jr. I really like him a lot. He's going to be the number 1 there. He had some huge games last year too. Helped win me a bunch of games last year. 9, Drake London. He's actually ranked pretty high. What's that?
He was awesome, but now they drafted Hunter, so you're kind of scratching your head a little bit there.
I'm not too worried about Hunter. Johnson Jr. is still going to be the man there. Drake London, I got at 9. AJ Brown, he's always a solid receiver. He's always one of those top receivers. I got him in rounding out my 10. Do you want to go through 15, or do you want to?
I'll
go through 15 here quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll do Lad McConkey, actually. I like him as a young receiver for the Chargers. Jackson Smith and Njabaka. I like him a lot, actually. JSN. We'll just go out with JSN. But he helped me win a couple of my leagues last year. I really like him a lot. He's going to be the number 1 there now with DK gone. I look for big things from him. 13, I got T. Higgins. 14, Tyreek. He was actually a top 5 receiver the last couple of years. So if he stays healthy, he could surprise some people. And then I rounded out with Garrett Wilson at 15.
All right, fair enough. I'll start with 6. I already gave you Nico Collins. 7, I have CeeDee Lamb as somewhat of a bust. I drafted him last year. Remember, he got hurt for a while, and then all of a sudden, he lost his quarterback, Dak Prescott. I don't trust the Cowboys. I'm not saying that he's not going to have an awesome year again, but they did draft some receivers, and now they got the other guy from Pittsburgh, Pickens.
They got Pickens now, so that's why I like him too. I think Pickens takes some double coverage off of him now. They have to cover Pickens now,
and maybe they're throwing a lot because they're playing against the Eagles and the Commanders. So maybe they're throwing a lot. I don't know. I have Brian Thomas right after him at 8. I have Drake London at 9. I have AJ Brown at 10. AJ, I had him in the league last year. Once in a while, just put up a really bad number. It's because the Eagles, finish people off with Barkley so bad. It's just like, you're good enough to be a top 5, but just the team stacked.
He's inconsistent. Yeah, very inconsistent. He'll have some huge games, and they'll just have a couple duds. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
The next one I have is not like a sleeper, but moved up, is Mike Evans. What the hell, man? This guy's like 4th in touchdowns last season at 11. 4th in touchdowns, dude. It's all he does is catch touchdowns and get yards, man. He's awesome.
1,000-yard seasons too. I think he's had 4,000 or 5,000-yard receiving.
Yeah, like something
in a row too.
I think it might be 6 or 7. It's crazy.
It might be more than that even. Yeah,
because Tom Brady was there, and then Jameis Winston before that or something. It was one of them. Lad McConkey is number 12. Jackson Smith the Jigba number 13. I agree with that. Jigba is hard to say, but JSN's fine. T. Higgins, I have at number 14, just because, they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. I have Tyreek Freak Hill at 15. Believe it or not, he was top, 2 or 3 of the last few years. It's crazy.
Right, exactly.
It's crazy how he dropped. I'll go through 20. 16, I have Terry McLaurin. 17, I have Garrett Wilson. A little worried about Wilson with Fields back there, but it is what it
I'm
is.
worried
I
about
hope
McLaren.
McLaurin.
He's still not in camp either. There's
You
another
should
guy
be
that I was
worried. You
watching. I
should
know
be
what they're
worried.
doing there.
And that's why McLaurin, 16. He played better than 16 last year, but just that situation. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. at 17, or at 18. He better get his head out of his ass. Better have a better year with Shorty over here. DK Metcalf, number 19. Yeah, I suppose on the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers should be able to find him enough, right? He
Yeah.
could be a big stud there. And Cortland Sutton, I have at number 20. You can't forget about Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix. That should be pretty good. Go ahead and
All right.
give me 15 through 30, buddy. Just
Sounds
fire
good.
away.
Let's do this. All right, 16, Mike Evans. All the same reasons you just said. I like Mike Evans as well. Solid receiver. He's always going to be pretty consistent for you. Devontae Adams. I didn't hear you say him actually. 17. I like Devontae Adams, especially on the Rams now. He could actually do pretty well with Puka there, I think. 18, I got Marvin Harrison. I think he has a bounce back year. Has a better sophomore season here. McLaren at 19. He does worry me as well. He could have been even lower. DJ Moore, your boy from the Bears. I like him at 20. Metcalf, I got at 21. I saw some highlights with him and Rodgers today, actually. They look like they're on the same page here. They look like they're clicking right now in training camp. So I like that. 22, Cortland Sutton. 23, I like Devontae Smith. He's kind of an underrated guy, too. He could actually be higher, actually, I think. But I like him as a sleeper, kind of. He could even be higher. He's a solid guy, and A.J. Brown takes away a lot of the defense from him. 24, I got T. McMillan for Carolina. I like that rookie. He's one of my rookies I got in here that I like. Jameson Williams at 25. I think he could have a big year. This could be his breakout year, possibly. 26, I got Xavier Worthy. I like him on the Chiefs. He could have a breakout year. Zay Flowers at 27. I like Flowers a lot as well. The only reason I got him this low is just because they're such a running team with Henry and Jackson. If he was on any other team, he'd probably be top 10.
Hit or miss.
But
Hit or miss with him.
yeah, he's hit or miss, though, too. He's inconsistent. He has a lot of big games. So I liked him. I had him on a couple teams last year, but like you said, a couple big games, a couple duds, though, then, too. Kelvin Ridley at 28. Cam Ward, that's going to be his favorite target. It already is in preseason. I like him. 29, I got Pickens, actually. I like him. I think with him and CeeDee Lamb on the same team, if Dak stays healthy. And then 30 is one of my sleepers, actually. I got at 30. I'll do 30 and 31 because those are my two sleepers here. I like Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins. I think he's definitely a sleeper. I think he could have a big year. When Miami was really good and they had a great offense with him and Hill healthy, they could be pretty lethal. And then at 31, this is one of my sleepers as well, is Rashid Rice. Depending on his whole legal situation, I like Rashid Rice, actually. He could have a huge year. He was started off like on fire last year and he was having a monster year until he got hurt. So if he stays healthy and he doesn't get suspended, definitely could be a top 10 guy.
Right. Kansas City receivers just,
I know.
They just, man, I mean, now they have Xavier Worthy there. It's just too tough to figure them out, I think. I mean, Worthy should be awesome. He's the fastest guy. Remember, it was 40 was just absolutely amazing. But, man, it's just Kansas City. I don't know what to do with them. I expect them to be really good, but they've been relying on their defense lately. 21 is Devontae Smith for me. 22 is Devontae Adams for the Rams. Some of the same reasons you said. Number 23 is Jameson Williams. I think he, like you said, breakup year. Number 24, Dave, Matthew Golden, my next sleeper.
Love it.
I have Matthew Golden. I just think that, Christian Watson is just toast almost in my mind. I think Matthew Golden's going to quickly be the number one receiver there. Ted McMillan is next at 25. I just don't like Carolina as much as Green Bay, right? I'm just not sure about Bryce Young just yet. He did play pretty well last year at the end, but we'll just pump the brakes a little bit there. DJ Moore is number 27. Problem with the Bears is that they have two really good tight ends. As you saw that first drive with Caleb, he threw to Loveland and to both of them. So it's just like one of those situations where it's just like you got Rome Odunze there, which I have him up pretty high. I have Zay Flowers, then Rome Odunze at number 28. Xavier Worthy's at 29. I feel like I'm too low on Xavier Worthy. I want to move him up, man. I just don't know what to do with him yet. I just feel like if Kansas City was smart, they'd focus on somebody more, and it should be Worthy to me. I'm going to think more about this, but Andy Reid is really hidden his ideals in preseason, isn't showing anything. So that worries me a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think either one of them. I
So
think Worthy or Rice could both have either one of them or both. Actually, depends on how much they pass. But like, yeah, I like those guys both. But I think Rice, I think, is going to be the guy there because they were going to him like all the time, and he was the number one for sure last year until he got hurt.
it's funny to see like Jerry Judy at 36, Chris Olave at
I
35. I
know.
mean, just bad teams. So you want to trust that guy shit on a bad team? Not really, you know. And then
No.
and then Stephon Diggs, look at how far he's fallen in New England. I have him like 38th. I don't trust
Him and May have
Diggs.
actually been looking pretty good in training camp though too, and I saw May drop some dimes to him in a couple preseason games here and in practices. So that actually that's a good. Diggs is the guy you might want to watch.
I have Travis Hunter at 34. I mean, we're not sure about him, but he could be absolutely awesome. But then what's Trevor's Lawrence head going to be like? I don't know. There's just so many good dudes this year.
Purcell too is
It's
a sleeper that a lot of guys people like him and draft him pretty high too. Actually,
speaking of sleepers, let's get into it. I'll give you one, Dante Thornton. I think that he's in my 50s right now instead of my
love
80s or 90s. I think Thornton for the Raiders is they don't have a lot of targets there minus their tight end. So.
Brandon Ayuk. A lot of people forgot about him. He's actually one of the top receivers a couple of years ago too. He was one of the 49ers' best receivers. He's coming back from injury, but don't sleep on him. He could be a sleeper. Golden, I love Golden. He's made people when they go against other teams. He's just been making people look like silly. Actually, some of the cornerbacks that can't keep up with him. He's just so quick and fast off the line too. He's Golden is definitely by far not because I'm a Packer fan either, just because I've been watching him more than any other guy, just because I'm a Packer fan. But yeah, he's so quick.
He's my first real sleeper, so I think we
Yeah,
both agree on that. He was my first like
yeah, I
real.
love him actually. He's one of my favorite sleepers for sure.
All right. We might see a jersey from Dave for Golden this weekend at the
We
Circa,
might
right, Dave?
at Circuit when we're there at Vegas here this week. So make sure and tune in and see.
Yeah, come to Radio Row and see Dave and I. Yeah, that's great, Dave. That's kind of all I have. I know Jordan Addison and Tubay suspended the first few games, and that kind of screwed him up a little bit. But I mean, he's you don't play your playoffs in the first 3 games. I mean, Jordan Addison could be a huge for you later in the season. So it's like there's such a big separate. It's funny when you look at Romo Dunze and DJ Moore. There's not much of a separation in draft picks, but why is he so low, man? 39 when you have Justin Jefferson at number 2. That's just a massive separation there. I think Jordan Addison's better than that. I'm going to move him ahead of Chris Olave and Rashee Rice. We'll put him right behind Jalen Waddle or whatever. I think I'll move him up 4 or 5 spots for sure. So
yeah, the suspension is he's out for the first 4 games, so that's the big thing with him. The talent's there, and he's definitely going to be good when he comes back. So it's just a matter of him being suspended for those first 4 games.
And keep your eye on Emeka Ibuka. If Godwin's always going to be injured, he's going to be a nice little sleeper receiver for you. So that's what I think. Awesome stuff, Dave. That's all we have. I think next week when we're nice and back and settled, hopefully we'll be settled by Monday. Some good sleep. Let's hit up tight ends, quarterbacks, and little defensive rankings too. We don't really have to focus on defense or kickers or nothing, but we'll have a few things to say. Dave, anything we missed?
No, I like it. I'm looking forward to the quarterbacks too. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. And running backs. Running backs are always my favorite too. So looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Vegas as well.
All right. For Dave and me, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any questions for us, feel free to tweet us at the Oddsbreakers. Email us at info@theoddsbreakers.com. We'll see you in Vegas this weekend, baby. Go get some winners.